Welcome back, friends. This is the question number 5 out of 100. And the question is, why do attachment and craving create distress? Very good question. And the answer for that question can vary depending on the type of answer we are looking. So, attachment and craving might sound like there is nothing wrong with this, having that sort of attachment and craving, and there are plenty of justification people might give to support that kind of activities. Yeah, you have got every right to be ambitious. You have every right to seek that sort of position, try to be competitive, try to be very, shall I say, very powerful, very active. So we have got very broad type of activity areas or activities that are fueled by this sort of subtle kind of a mind that is seeking some kind of gained, some be it climbing the ladder of your career, climbing your portfolio, expanding your business across the continents, making your, let's say, business grow, and having many people serving under them, becoming like a boss, becoming highly influential. All these sort of things are inherently driven by the sort of a mind that is seeking that sort of a more and more positions, more and more influence over others. So these are the, if I can say, these are the very gross manifestation of attachment and craving. So there are many justifications for supporting those sort of activities. And in a way, the intention is all to do with the intention. It is all to do with that sort of state of mind, whether the intended purpose is it to seek genuine welfare and happiness of not only ourselves, but if those kind of activities are driven by the sort of sense of universal welfare and happiness, which does not involve that kind of selfishness, the bias, and the sort of attitude of partiality and that sort of things, then we know there are say less degree of craving, less degree of attachment, and there is more degree of those wholesome qualities of loving kindness, compassion, and so on. So It's a rather, how do we frame this question? And that is how we can come up with sort of differing conclusion whether this sort of desire and ambition, desire, and pursuit, this could be fueled by that sort of nature of mind that are invaded by, whether they are invaded by greed, hatred, and delusion, or they are supported by the sort of uh, absence of those greed, hatred, and delusion, which we can use that sort of a state of loving kindness, compassion, and mudita, which is the what is called welfare of others, and seeking that sort of happiness in others' happiness. Yeah. So now now we differentiated these two kinds of tendencies of mind to seek more, to desire more. Then the former does lead to distress, the latter will not lead to distress. Yeah. So wherever there is some sort of greed, hatred, and delusion element, which comes as some sort of a competitiveness and suppression of others' opportunities, being successful at others' expenses, and exercising that power excessively, this kind of attitude, this kind of mental states create um, unsettledness of mind, because you can probably get away by cheating others, by playing unfair, and making some sort of a some taking some steps which are unfair, and gaining that kind of, by unrighteous means, one can be successful, and that can lead to success, that can lead to some kind of gain, but the state of mind of those people, because these states are invaded by those state of greed, hatred, and delusion, their mind, their their mind is not at peace. Yeah. So that state of mind is at extreme state of agitation. That mind can hardly get any kind of peace and stability. So they can only enjoy that sort of gain uh, for in the face of public, in the face of others. But whenever they will find that sort of moment of peace, moment of quietude, their mind will be constantly telling them that, look, this is unrighteous. Whatever means you have used to arrive at that state is not righteous. It's not, you have not used your right quality of mind to come at that state. So that kind of mind is really, really, mind is violent, mind is agitated, mind is at distress. So this is why we need to differentiate this attachment and craving. We have to analyze them through this sort of lens of right view, if I can say that, which is state of non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. State of right view is that kind of understanding that peacefulness, that non-engagement, that non-proliferation. And if that kind of right view is there in any activities, then that kind of path, what is called, there is a wholesome desire, and that kind of wholesome desire leads to the ending of desire. Yeah. So the bottom line is attachment and craving, that we have to identify what element are being present in that sort of activities. So I'm not talking about the craving that is the root of all this suffering. That is the, I'm not talking about the craving as a second noble truth, but generally what I'm talking about is that sort of state of desire, state of attachment, in the sense that state of trying to possess. So there is nothing inherently harmful in trying to possess your needs. Yeah, you have every right to be affluent. You have every right, and you must seek your happiness to be not end up in a destitute. Yeah. So Buddha has not praised poverty. Buddha has not praised that sort of a destitute and being at that sort of a state of incapacity, not being able to afford good livelihood, not being able to afford good education, not being able to afford healthy food. So we need to see the sort of a process of desire and ambition with that sort of a mind, where the mind can discriminate where which thought, which intention has the element of greed, hatred, and delusion, and which thought, which ambition, which activity has no element of greed, hatred, and delusion, and which is supported by the wholesome qualities like loving kindness, compassion, and welfare of others. So only in the case of the former, which is involved with greed, hatred, and delusion, there will be distress, there will be unease, there will be agitation, and a violent mind. Yeah. So that is what this, in our everyday life. It's not black and white. We are not living a ascetic life. So we have to deal with many state of many qualities of mind which do not necessarily follow that sort of black and white, approach. So we have to use our judgment to purify the mind of those unwholesome qualities of greed, hatred, and delusion, remove those traces of those activities by observing the mind constantly and letting them go, abandoning them. So hopefully this question has been answered successfully. Thank you very much.